Morning, everyone. Good morning, Khenpo. Welcome to KPC Kozan Chong. We're so happy to have you here this morning. Through blessing and guidance of our teacher, Dharma Mamo, we have the fortunate opportunity to have Khenpo Karze, our resident Khenpo here, teach every Sunday. So today he will be giving a teaching as well as instructions on meditation. And there'll be time for some Q&A. And then we'll finish with a short Chenrezig practice where we will accumulate some mantra together. So again, thank you so much for being here. This is for you.
Sanje Judan Zoji Chonana Chonjaba, the Dani Jazo Chidagi Jinso, Jibi Sonan Jinrola Fenji Sanjin Rojo, Sanje Chonjuba, the Dani Jazo Jindagi Jinso, Jibi Sonan Jinrola Fenji Sanjin Rojo, Sanje Chuda Zoji Chonala, Chonjuba, the Dani Jazo Jindagi Jinso, Jibi Sonan. Rola Fenji Sanjin Rojo, Sanje Tamji Dewa, the Divi Judon, the Majuji Donga, the Donga Judon Chawachi Donga, maybe Dewa Tamba, the Mendawachi. Nirin Chadan Nidan Travel, Tonyum Chimbola never Churuchi, Senjan Tanji Dewa, and Devi Judon Dembachi, Donhan Judon Chawachi, Donhame, Dewa. Mendawaji, Nirin Chadan Nidan Travel, Tonyum Chimbola never Churuchi, Senjan Tanji Dewa, and Devi Judon Dembachi, Donhan Judon Chawachi. Donhame Dewa Damba, the Mendawaji, Nirin Chadan Nidan Travel, Tonyum Chimbola never Churuchi, Majituji, Benjamin Bamala Lion, Sibazon, Tudench. Imbudamba Bella Dadrava Bema Novi Shala so and this. Good morning and welcome to KPC and also Sunday meditation section. So last few weeks or last few Sundays we are already practiced on preliminary. Is it? Preliminary. According to especially this topic on this mindfulness. Okay, so ordinary people, we are always, holding wrong view on 5 aggregate, or sometimes we can say with this body, we are always holding something wrong, like this body is actually, unclean or unpleasant or unpure, but we always holding as pure and clean and pleasure, like that. Also, the things are always, keep changing in moment by moment, but for like us ordinary people, always thinking that things are permanent. And also, through the 5 senses, what we observe, and we are always holding, feeling, happy or joy. Is it? But of course, sometimes we can hear something bad things through that. Yeah, your feeling is not so happy. But that is just a different way how we are for holding the things. Then other one is, the selflessness. actually everything is selflessness, but we are lacking of that kind of wisdom to knowing the selflessness, but we are always holding conceptual of self, something there, exist. So those are the four we are always, holding wrong way. So those we need to remove all those conceptual thoughts are kind of negative thoughts or negative emotions. So we have to remove. So that's why we are the practices, which is right now we are practicing on Karze, mindfulness. Okay, so last few Sundays we are focusing on form of the body and color of the body or shape of the body, and then the feeling that came from the touching, and then the feeling which is we feel always sometimes benefit, but those feelings are really unbenefit. Through those feelings we are attached with something or angry with something. The truth that those poisons we call negative emotions, through those poisons we are always stuck in the samsara. So reason of that we need to remove those attachment or desire within of our own body or others too. So last few weeks we are kind of practicing on that. Okay, so for the four forms, it should be concluded by imagining that a person's body is an impure, natural, and will become a skeleton. The 5 or 6 steps or 5 or 6 methods actually, which should be repeated with one's own body or others, and again and again. So through that we can, this practice actually helps to develop our selflessness or develop our. Okay, so 2 weeks having finished it with the ordinary preliminary practices. Now let us turn to how we actual practice on application of body mindfulness. There are actually few different ways to think about our own body and others. Like the body of a cemetery that appears to be a skull and a blue appearance. The body, which is very attached, is also the nature of impurity. By meditating on it again and again, of meditating in the form of a skull is not different than the meditating impure actually. There's 2 different ways through we can remove desire or attachment with body on or others too. So one is thinking about our own bodies kind of skeleton. Yeah, skeleton. And then other thing is just think about impure. Okay, so this is the two way that can remove attachment. Okay, so however, there are two different types of impure meditation, which are more easy for the beginners to understanding and get used to it. So it's the antidote to desire among the three poisons. If we do this again and again, we will not become attached to our body, and no matter how it looks, sometimes we feel our body is so beautiful, or sometimes we feel this body looks so ugly or not so good. Is it? So through that, we are developing negative emotions. If you feel our body is beautiful, then you are attached with this body, then develop more desire, increase. Then if you see this body looks not so good or ugly or impure, which means sometimes we feel hate or unhappy having this impure body. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't take care of this body. Of course we have to, because at end last breath we have live with this body in this world. So but that it means body mindfulness, which means not to attach with this body. That is the main thing. Okay, so through that we can gradually, it helps to develop the wisdom of selflessness. Okay, so therefore the sutra and text are repeatedly says that the antidote to desire should be meditate on unclean and unpleasant, or I don't know, this word is not, when you hear the word, it's not so nice, ugliness. So we can say unclean. Is it? So we think this body is clean? Of course, we always, holding that kind of view, that kind of conceptual thought. We have always, but the first we must to think about this body with the some are saying to imagination or visualization, or some texts are saying there's 9 imagination or visualization. Okay, so but all are actually the same way. The thing, imagination or perception. So here saying the Dushe Gu, which means 9 perception. Okay, the first one is think about when this body is separate from consciousness, then become a blush within a few hours, and then smelling when our body and consciousness when separate, then become this body is useless actually. just throw, then become a, it turn in a blue kind of color, so dark blue, and then become a like a very dirty or smelling. So then that one is number one. Then second is become a fasting, and then third is womb eating. I think, yeah. The fourth is decaying or decaying. I don't know. Decaying. Yeah. Then fifth one is actually cursing. The sixth is eating. Then seven is burn or irritating kind of. When we see our body, on body, when the consciousness and bodies become a separate, okay? At that time, our consciousness is always there, actually, okay? So that is the in middle of intermediate. When your consciousness is in intermediate, that consciousness can see our own body. At that time, it feels, irritating to see that kind of body, Yeah. So then number 8 is kind of scatter, explode. Then number 9 is become skeleton. So those first 8 is kind of, related or what we are doing right now, impurity. Impure? Sorry, unclean or unpleasant. Okay, so all those imagination are not really different than imaginations impure or unclean. So here related to this, our meditation is first 8 from 9 imagination of above mentioned. So the way we meditate on unpleasant or unclean or ugliness, we must think our own body is impure, not our own body, of course others too. So there's 3 kind of mindfulness, body mindfulness. One is inner, outer, in between. Is it? Inner is our own body, outer is others. Then in between means both. Okay? So these are the 3 different ways to how to we meditate. So we must think our own body is impure. So this practice is especially useful as an antidote to physical desire. Okay, we can consider that this body contains all kinds of impure substances like blood and pus. So how do we think it's unclean or unpleasant? So that think that within this body have 36 impure things, okay? Or 36 impure substances. So tome, the 36 impure substances, those are the 36 sometimes repulsive substances that make up the human body to reduce attachment. The Buddha taught virtuous method as such as meditation or one mindfulness. Okay, so then or on the repulsive aspect of subject, which means in meditate on impure or unclean. Okay, midupa, which we Tibetan we call midupa, that appears unrealistic particularly attractive within the framework of this second type of contemplation. The Buddha invites his disciple to become more aware of the different substances that make up the human body. Such observation act as a random remedy for attachment to both one's own body and that of others. According to Lopen Asanga, in Tibetan we call Tome, one of the greatest master of Nalanda, okay, Indian master. There's actually 6 greatest master once upon a time in Nalanda University. So one of the masters we call Tome. So he mentioned it, those 36 substances. So then we just meditate on how our body is unpleasant or unclean. Then he said, within this body we have 36, unclean things or 36 substances. So one is here, so here. So then second one is the small hair, could be the body. All over the body part we have small hairs. Okay. Then third one is nails, and then teeth. Okay. Then tima, we call a kind of, in translated, this one is odors. What is odors? Kind of smelling? Okay, so odors. Then skin, okay? Then sha, which is flesh, okay? Then bones, rupa, we call bones, Then nerves. Is it nerves? Or channel? Veins. Yeah, vein. Then kama, a kidney, okay? And then heart, and then lung, then a liver, and then the small intestine. Then nyema, it's called, the rectum. Then gomba is bladder, and then poa, stomach, and longer as a large intestine, okay? Or sometimes they call the colon. Then chirwa is a spleen, okay? And then shisa is faces. What is that? Faces. Then chima is tears. And then shu, which is perspiration. I don't know. Okay. Then chima is saliva. Chisere is lymph. Okay. Then gang, which is bone marrow. Okay. Til is fat. Ngarnap is snout, or sometimes nasal mucus. Okay. And then tipa, which means I don't know, is it gallbladder? Okay. Then Peking. Peking is it's saying the Pelgym or Palgym. PH. Phlegm. Okay. Then na is pus, ta is blood, and leba is brain, and chimba is urine. Then uma is actual eye mucus or what? Okay. Then leji, which means brain, membranes, brain, the airways, the unclean substances within this body, So, so it's not wrong to meditate on the nature of such an impure body, because the nature of the body is the same actually. If you focus on that or not focusing, so it's the same. Our body is always like that, So we don't have to think that this, because some teachers are, teaching like this way. So some of people, or maybe some of you, thinking this person is talking so something nonsense. Yeah, but you don't need to think about that, because if we are meditating on there is not true, if this body is very clean, still we are, trying to meditate on unclean, then it's useless. That kind of meditating is useless, So if this is not true, then when we can think that this, teacher or talking something nonsense, but the truth is what it is. So if we can see the true nature of this body or others too, then we will soon be free from the suffering of the samsara actually. We are lack of to see the nature of, all the phenomena actually, especially this time we are, focusing on our own body or others, like, unpleasant or unclean. So lack of that kind of wisdom. So through that, we are attaching with this body. When we see the nature of this body, what is it? Then I think nobody will attach with this body. Attach means like desire, okay? Yeah, desire or attachment, this body, and taking care of this body. There's two little bit slightly different, okay? So we have to remove, attachment or desire. So then we have to meditate on unpleasant or unclean, this body with 36, substances. So then it's important to understand, that we cannot escape suffering because we have, divided from the truth of nature. Because we have so strong attachment, or we have a very strong habit, or through the, three poisons. Not just, you are interesting or like that, So through the three poisons, we have a very strong habit to attach with something, our consciousness or our thinking or whatever we call. We are always attached with something, So that attachment or desire, we have to remove. Without that desire or attachment removing, we cannot, actually achieve something or achieve long-lasting happiness. those arhat and bodhisattvas, why they achieve something, because they know how to remove those three poisons, through the practice or through the, learning, through the, wisdom, or through the shamatha or meditation. Okay? Meditation is not just, sitting and restrict your body and just your mind and not thinking anything. So, of course, that is one of the meditation, but when we want to achieve something, then we have to, apply different way meditation, with wisdom. So reason of that, okay? So the more logical, then that practice is more beneficial. So without logic or without finding some reason, of course, we practice, or sometimes we practice, sometimes we're meditating, sometimes we are praying. It also, helps us, but not really, fully benefit. If you want fully benefit or to achieve, long-lasting happiness, then we should always, apply shamatha with wisdom. Okay? Wisdom, which means finding some reasonable, okay, logic, or sometimes we call logic. So here, why we want, reduce, or we want remove the desire with this body, because we find some reason, there is no reason to attach with this body, because this body is unclean, or with 36 kind of substances within this body. So think like that way, okay? Then you just focus on that in all the 36 substances body, okay? Just think and concentrate on that, maybe 15 minutes, okay? Yeah. Okay, then you can take a little break. So this is, very important, to knowing what is the main purpose of this practice. When Buddha time, his disciples are, seeking to liberate from samsara or from suffering. So then they ask to Buddha give some, more advanced teaching. Then Buddha taught the body mindfulness. Okay, Buddha ordered, actually give order to meditate on body mindfulness. Then they did actually, those Buddha's follower or students. Then they see the reality of this body. Then they are, hate it or irritating having this body actually. Then some of and some are requested kill. Yeah. So then one day in the morning, the all students are gathering together. Okay. Then at that day is less, student than the usually. Then Buddha asked, "What happened? Today is, less than the usually." Then his disciple, Shariputra, they taught like, they did meditate on the body mindfulness. After they seen, the reality of this body, then they are, irritating having this body, then they killed it themselves. Then Buddha taught actually, this mindfulness practice or meditation is not purpose of kill yourself. This main purpose is to remove the three poisons, not kill yourself actually. Okay? Yeah, because some of us, life is very short, so you don't need to kill yourself. Yeah, that is natural come actually, So that is the reason, don't actually think like irritating. Okay, the main purpose is, need to remove three poisons. That is the main purpose of this, body mindfulness practice. Okay. Of course, sometimes we see something, bad, like, the smelling of, so at that time, we are irritating, stay nearby that place. But that is not really the purpose of this meditating or meditation, okay? So this is main purpose of meditation, cut all the negative emotions, okay? Three poisons, okay? Don't attach too much with something, okay? Okay. Also, don't, how to say, make a distance, okay? Of course, we are always, divided or distance with natural actually, what is the truth, so we are very far away. So those practices are actually helps you connect with truth or connection, yeah, with the reality, and more close and more close, not really far. So that is the reason, the more important we have that kind of strong, those negative emotions, those are the main, creator suffering or happiness or samsara or whatever we call, So having those negative emotions are the main enemy, So we need to fight with that, fight with those negative emotions, So through the practice or through the meditation or through the learning something, through the experience. Is it? Yeah, it's very important, how to say, to having that kind of mindset, okay? Not, how to say, irritating having this body. This body is like, they said, giving example, boat, okay? Without this body, we cannot achieve happiness or long-lasting happiness, both. So important having this body, but attach with this body is not important, not so good. When you are attached with this body, then starting suffering. Okay? The suffering is kind of, came from like that. Yeah. So think like that way. Okay? Don't, how to say, think, kill by yourself. Actually kill poisons. Yeah. Our real enemy is 3 poisons. So we need to kill all the dogs. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. If you have any questions, if I can give answer, then I would love to Q&A.
What are the 3 poisons?
Okay. One is ignorance, lack of wisdom, we can say like that way. And then one is hatred, and one is desire. Okay? These 3 are the main, creator for all the suffering, or all what we call samsara. Yeah. So reason of that, when they talk about the 12 interdependent, so the giving example, pig, snake, and other one is what we call cha. What do we call?
Is it the rooster, the chicken?
Yeah, chicken. Yeah, one is actually represent desire, one is represent ignorance, one is hatred. So these 3 are the main creator. Then beyond that come out 3 or 6 realms, Yeah. So it's important to know that these 3 poisons, why they call poison. When we eat, poisoned food or whatever, then you will in suffering. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Khenpo. I was finding when I was meditating, it was very easy to just find many, many things during my day that I could reflect on as being kind of repulsive. Uh, So like I have a cat with a tremendous amount of earwax that I have to clean out at it. And then a dog that can drool, saliva, and then you have to clean up after them. And I have an older parent that I have to, you see the skin and the nails and the hair and all those things. You tend to think that's, mine's not that disgusting, or, but I think that it's a good opportunity to sort of reflect back and go, it's the same as me. It's, right now it might not look that bad. Maybe things look like they're intact, but soon enough they won't be. And, or, like if an animal has a wound and you see inside, sometimes all the way to the bone, all these things can be so disgusting, even like hair in a shower. It's like, if it's not your own, or somebody else's Kleenex, that, it's like, you blow your own nose, no problem. You see somebody else's, you won't even pick it up. So there's all these things that you can think about, all those things on that list of 36.
Mm-mm.
I know when I had a C-section, which is when you have an operation to
Mm-mm.
a baby, my husband saw all of my insides like sitting out on the side of the table to take out Tara. And he, practically threw up. I mean, just sort of like, there's so many opportunities to think about, reflect on those things. So I almost think that if you sort of can get into it, it could be kind of fun. Not fun, but I mean, like useful.
Yeah. Very useful.
But at the same time, you think it's not like it's not precious, because all of that comes together to make a precious human.
Yeah. Same
time.
Yeah.
It can be both.
So there's the different way how we, think. One is we always talk about having this human body is so precious. And the other hand is like that, So this is the two different way how to we meditate, how to we practice with this body. With this body used into practice. That is so really the Italy. Okay, there's one guy. When I talk about the mindfulness kind of like that, then he told me actually the hospital shift all the dead body, here and then. Then he said this one is a very help him actually his practice or impermanent, thinking about. Or then sometimes he can see those bodies become, swelling, and sometimes bodies explode actually. Some reason, I don't know. Then come out, so many dirty things. Then he just observe, those are the, good to practice. Yeah.
So as I was meditating, it just kind of came to me that how our bodies are a continuum. Our bodies are part of the body of this room, the body of this land, the body of the earth. So it's one flow. And so the balance between impurity and purity, and I like what you were saying, how it's precious and impermanent, constant flow. That was kind of, so where do we delineate? And then the other thought was this attachment, is that kind of addiction? Where we become attached to a body of, even technology, body of social media, body of narrative. So it becomes amorphous and changeable.
Yeah, kind of. Desire is like a addict, addict with something. Like Instagram or TikTok or, they can't leave actually. They are so irritating, They feel actually, if, parents took phone or computer, so they cannot use, TikTok or Instagram. So they feel, something irritating or whatever we call. But of course, the practice is actually many levels, many level. So that is the reason, the step by step. Mindfulness test levels. Right now we are just, like, unpleasant or unclean, which is actually more practicing those Theravadi, okay? Hinayana, sometimes we call Hinayana. Yeah, but when we talk about the Vajrayana, then it's totally different. This body is very pure. There's nothing in this body impure. So everything is pure. So then two different, One is saying impure or unclean. One is saying it's very pure. So different way, how to we meditate on the body mindfulness or with this body. The main idea is actually how to we use this body in Dharma way or in the path. That is the main important, So it's like that way. So at the different levels and different practices, and then different or method or different logic. Yeah. So in the Vajrayana, they said there is anything, what we saw, what we hear, everything's pure. There is no harsh word like that, So this is, depend on how you, generate or applying your mindset, actually. This is very important, So Vajrayana is all about mindset. Yeah. So from the beginning, you have to say everything's pure. Yeah. So it's different levels, different practices, okay? So then in Theravadi or Mahayana, then talk about, a different way. So don't attach with this body or don't attach with anything because it's attached with something, then go into suffering, into samsara, So reason of that, then we are focusing on this kind of, the unclean body. Through that, we can remove or, cut the attachment. That is the more important. Okay? Yeah.
I remember back at a retreat that we had, and one of the things that she said that I found very helpful was that every single cell that we had was a Buddha. And to carry that around, they attached. I'm looking at it now in a different way because of that image. You're saying about Vajra from Mahayana?
Yeah. Yeah. You can get this too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
No need. Yeah.
So, testing out some practices. Do a short Chenrezig practice.
You can read in English. Yeah.
Home, in the northwest country of Udana, born in the pollen heart of a lotus, endowed with the most marvelous spiritual attainments. You are renowned as the lotus form, surrounded by a retinue of many dakinis. Following in your footsteps, I pray to you, please come forth and grant your blessings. Guru Ema Siddhi Home. Om Ah Hum Benzar Guru Ema
Siddhi Home.
Your 1,000 arms are the 1,000 universal monarchs. Your 1,000 eyes, the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate age. You who teach each and every one of us according to our needs. Lord Avalokiteshvara, to you I pay homage. And our mantras, Om Mani Padme Hum Kri.
Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme, 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 Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. Mani Padme, Om.
And on the back side here. By this virtue, may I swiftly accomplish the state of Chenrezig, and may all sentient beings without exception be placed in that very state. By this effort,
May all sentient beings be free of suffering. May the mind be filled with the nature of virtue.
in this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all. Thank you. You're welcome to take this if you'd like. Or if you are going to leave it behind, just leave it on a chair or a cushion or something. Don't worry about the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and happy Sunday.
Thank you, Khenpo. And thank you all for coming. We invite you to explore the grounds today. Before, I wanted to mention there are 4 offering baskets, so it's traditional to make an offering after receiving a teaching. So they're over there, along with QR codes. So it's a beautiful day. If you'd like to explore the land. We have beautiful stupas and gardens and sweet little farm animals. We also have a beautiful koi pond down the way, just past here. And I think maybe the birds are out today, the aviary. Yeah. And then at 1 o'clock today, across the street, at the Rinpoche statue, so just in like 10 minutes, we're doing a drum circle. So we do mantra chanting with the different instruments. We have plenty of instruments, so you can come and join in on that. We also have a special event here on October 3rd, next Friday. The information's on the door as you go out. It's the fall soiree at the Koi Ponds. So I hope you all can make it there. There's more information about tickets, and it'll be music and a wonderful, beautiful night outside under the stars. So please join us. And I think we have some fruit and cookies for everyone. Yeah? Very good. Okay, thank you all. Oh, and if you're interested in learning more about just everything we do here, we do have a little QR code in the back where that notebook is, and you can sign our digital guest book, so to stay in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy Karze. Enjoy snack. Yeah. Maybe someone is coming. Yeah. I will see you.